Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader on the PC. Last time, we wrapped up some stuff on a prison planet, and not really sure all the things that we got out of it, but we did get some access codes for the navigator station, which is going to come in handy. It's going to come in handy right now, because that's where we're going next. We are saving Rykab Minoris for last. So we're on our way to Urak 5. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wersarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Here we go. Always something. The peasants always got complaints. Excellent chair. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrila Vent, requesting permission to speak. On a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wersarian, and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me? I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, she will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I have already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did this all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Where does Seneschal Wersarian come into all this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course, When I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You are far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wersarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors, it has driven the people to the brink. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Abeliar, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objection. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We've handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there is a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. I've heard enough. I will go down to the lower decks and deal with the problem personally. Praise the Emperor. Thank you, Lord Captain. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Oh boy, I guess we shall see. So, a cultist amulet was found on a dead body. Abelard swooped in, did some massive crackdowns on the whole sector. And now there's an uprising because, well, he's blaming everyone for a very, minor issue. Well, I mean, it's not really a minor issue theoretically, but it's, as she said, heavy-handed. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I deeply regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them you are akin to a creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I am the man whose name is attached to every order docking rations or lowering a bay's heating. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Victory awaits! A new challenge for me.
The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avril Event of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. I have my orders, to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your ladyship. What's the situation? Your ladyship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. We encountered some locals on our way here, and their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. I want to speak to the strikers. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Okay.
Follow my lead.
A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and two men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Beanpole. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amid ships and has no fellow feeling toward us. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder, we went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with. Nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor, the same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had had my 3rd little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors. Appleyard, do you have anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people had been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top-deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let pass. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've just had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up, a death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Okay, what changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain herself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. Thoughts, Abelard? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling, and possibly becoming minions of the arch-enemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I've seen it before. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor. Only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. Well, well, we have a pretty slim chance of the middle ground. So again, it's not just like religious fears and you know, paranoia and things like that. Like, you know, chaos is a real thing that exists. Chaos, contamination, and corruption and all that sort of stuff is a real thing that can happen. So there is a solid chance that if we just let them govern themselves, we stay out of it, and we just, yeah, as long as the jobs get done, whatever. It is very possible we have a full-blown chaos incursion on our lower decks. That being said, you know, in view of that, perhaps it's the best case to just eliminate everybody. But I don't like to be evil, even though 40k is tricky. I guess let's try for the middle ground. We don't give them weapons. The enforcers maintain order, and we hope for the best. Okay, we succeeded. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now is no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up, it's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop, and I'll expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Your ladyship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Of course, your ladyship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky, and I think the 40k setting is kind of rife with a lot of these sort of gray morality sort of things and tricky choices, even disregarding any sort of morality. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valancius Protectorate? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. I am obliged to speak thus. Who else can point out your errors and offer you counsel? Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hangar on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the Rogue Trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. Yes. Good writing, though. I think we can all agree on that. This is good quality stuff. Okay, now that that's resolved, though, onward to the navigator station. Lord Captain, reporting. The heralds of the Navis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to Urek 5 being off-limits to visitors. We intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Nobilite house requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Order the Augur crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The officers from the Augur crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We are able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigator's heralds ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after an official greeting by a rogue trader and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you have to look for the esteemed navigator's blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path. Okay. So... So we docked? We're docked now? Is that it? That's to my quarters. Okay, okay. Yeah, how do I actually leave the ship? I thought it would just take me there, so maybe something went wrong. Oh, there we go, okay.
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess! What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. permission to execute them.
Sort of delay with the ragdoll. That's a little dated, I think. The tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. Two jet-black, unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Sea of Souls, also known as the Immaterium, the Empyrean, the Ether, or Warp Space. Desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode. No one has the right to interpret his will so freely, sister. But wait. I recognize your coat of arms. You must be a lady of the Von Valancius dynasty. Yes, I'm absolutely positive, in fact. And since fate has brought such an important person into my abode, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of this station. So you did not come to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Urac 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list. Navigator looks at his guards and winces. The soldiers are quivering as if their tormented flesh were being flayed, yet they keep clutching their weapons. Provide me with a navigator, and I will immediately depart the station. I do not think this is possible. Urac 5 is an observation station. We do not sign contracts and do not provide navigators. We delve into the depths of infinity and chart the movements of the warp storms. And besides, you have chosen an inopportune time for negotiations. I'm looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator, one Heinrichs van Kalox. Do you know anything about his present location? Lord Inquisitor's interrogator? I think I would know if such an important individual decided to pay us a visit. Why would a keeper of the station command vile mutants condemned by the Emperor? The blame lies with Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Urac 5. The old man was a great navigator, but he could no longer control his powers. I begged him to retire, but he was too obsessed with our mistress, Lady Cassia. His madness and stubbornness spelled doom for the entire station, for he opened his third eye in a fit of rage and unleashed the horrors of the warp on those who displeased him. The Theobald I knew would never have used his powers in such a reckless manner. This will be difficult to explain to the uninitiated, but I am going to try. The warp currents in the system have been tumultuous for dozens of cycles and have worn the veil between our world and the Immaterium thin and frail, at least here on the station. The ruinous powers are trying to tear it down completely and corrupt all living things. The servants were the first to fall victim to it. Oh, their bodies morphed, and pain and despair drove the poor souls mad. The lunatics took my mistress prisoner and almost destroyed the station, but I rallied the few who still followed the light of the Golden Throne to set things right. The Lord Navigator here is speaking the unvarnished truth. I bet this station is full of voices and whispers, all trying to break through from the other side, waiting for you to reach out and swing the door open wide. I sincerely hope the influence of the Immaterium has not yet affected your body and your soul. With all due respect, I advise you not to remain at the station. Return to your void ship. I need to save Lady Cassia. If you are not willing to help or indeed risk your life, you must leave now. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet, Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orcelio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part and the other was lost during the mutiny, but even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. Okay. How am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. I guess that makes sense. So what have you decided, descendant of the Von Valancius line? The woes of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. I will help you, if not for the sake of profit, but for the good of the Imperium. You should hurry, then. We will stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, Rogue Trader, and may the Emperor's light be with you.
Victory awaits.
See, that's all I want. I just want, whenever I finish a dialogue, for them to wish me that the Emperor's light will protect me and all that. That means that I did good. Then I'm doing good.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Okay. Let's see.
The premonition runs true.
Blood just dripping off the walls and stuff.
Nothing's impossible for
I'll
this
lay
old
claim
officer.
to the stars.
This looks like a battle ready to happen, huh? Mumbles incoherently.
Done. Follow my lead.
Slicing their guts wide open. Let's cargo, make some money while we're here. Hell yeah. Why not?
None shall stand in my way.
Ripper auto pistol, 3 to 5 damage is not very much. Yeah, it doesn't seem great. Meteorite chunk, why not?
It's about time.
Mutated flesh sample, why not?
Take the knee and bow.
Oh god, yeah, so I had my hand on my face and then I brought my hand down and I hit the space bar,
Shields me.
which immediately started the combat. Good lord. I'd be pretty dumb. Weren't we gonna give her back, like, the lightning staff? Wasn't that gonna happen? Because the lightning staff would be a lot better right now. It would be awesome, actually.
They who discern the future on the battlefield.
Alright, let's, I probably don't even need to analyze this fuck. He's a dead man.
What?
13 to 22 damage. Boom! Decapitated. Alright, Takatus. She will handle this.
Nothing I can't do.
Nice Nicely done. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and give... Yeah, let's just give another action right now to Argenta. She can just fire away. Okay, so we do have the targeting thing is fixed now, so that's good. That looks okay. Oh yeah, she's got the las gun now. Yeah. That's it. Ooh, if we had a grenade, now would be a good time. That would be a real good time. Ow! Shotgun to my head. Okay. Force grenade. Force grenade's not better than just shooting. And we do that. Run and gun.
Faith without deed is worth eradicating.
She's pretty far away. I should have moved first. Nice. Avillard has a fire grenade, which would be pretty good, but I think we should get behind some cover.
Is at the fore. At your beck and call. Reduced to dust.
Okay, good. Now, fire grenade.
I will do my duty. Like the other.
Boom! Jesus Christ! It's just like squishing sounds and stuff. It's pretty good. And then I guess we could just do daring breach.
For von Valancius! I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call, you attack!
I can't charge. But I can fire if I want to.
It will be done. Reduce to dust!
That'll do nicely. We got one dude left. Nope, he walked into the fire and died instantly. Damn. Playing on easy mode. Shotgun. Just plain Jane, old school, American shotgun. What more do you need in life? What more can you possibly ask for? I mean, I gave her the flamer, but maybe a shotgun is more fun. I don't know. It's, funnily enough, kind of similar. But it's a shotgun, so hell yeah. Look at all this shit.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Child.
Challenge for me?
Okay.
my lead. Excellence matters.
Data crypt. We're just picking up a bunch of miscellaneous shit.
It's about time.
And cargo that I will just confiscate. For the good of the Imperium.
Victory awaits.
That's a mutant. Okay, that was odd.
I rise to the occasion.
Traitors are often executed in this way.
None shall stand in my way.
You think we're getting duped by this guy? Probably, right? He's probably the bad guy. Cogitator's vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches, and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Awaken the machine spirit. You turn a few of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers. The cogitator's insides emit creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the cogitator systems. Okay, request data on navigators. Okay, Felic Orselio. Theobald Orselio. Calamira is dead. Alexius is dead. Erasmus is dead. The Child. Upper chambers. Rapid heartbeat. Elevated body temperature. Stress level. Status unknown. Error. Calming procedures advised. Control rod is not present. Examine the log. Vox recording. This is Officer 8282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. Tech priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. Preliminary cause is officer sabotage. This is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. Anyone could be a traitor. Servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. Seems like they were doing some experimentation here. Tech use 10, 63% chance. Hell yeah. We bypassed the restrictions. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the Purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but a list of the most recent commands having been embedded in the machine spirit's consciousness now flits across the screen in a single creeping line. Child, delete, picked, flow, disable access code, annul station, controls, delete, activate, shuttle, self-destruct, purge, command log. Only the keepers of the station have access to the life support systems, but Keeper Theobald had not left the child's side, and neither had I. Could it be that... Yeah, I think this guy... he's giving us the runaround. This little bastard dude we met. Call Rycab Minors for help? Nope. Open all doors on the level. Data corrupted, processing error. 0100110110110001100110011. Okay. Okay. Let's see. That would be, well, this, I guess. Logic test succeeded. Here's one of the doors in the chamber is open. And main elevator controls. Activate the elevator. Confirm. I think we're Gucci.
A new challenge for me.
What the hell is going on this station? Painted with fresh blood.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Oh, we also leveled up. Huzzah.
Always ready.
Okay. Rank 7. So we get a new ability. They recommend Get Back in the Fight. One creature within a 4-cell radius. Remove burning, bleeding, toxin, and stun. If they're under a voice command, they also gain some temporary health. Or Air of Authority. 4-cell radius. Increase an ally's resolve by a resolve. Okay, they still have some work to do. They don't know exactly what this means. If they're under voice command, they will also start with an additional action point. Okay, I mean, that's, Take aim is pretty good as well. Next attack, avoiding, or, ignoring cover. This is a debuff. Reduce a bunch of targets, strength and agility. And make them take more damage. So my psi rating is 0. So really right now it's just -5 to strength and agility. And take 3% more damage. I mean, it's really weak at the moment. That 0 rank just brushes everything. Like Invigorate. Right now this will just heal 6 health. Whereas once I rank up, it'll be 8 health. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but so yeah, 6 health right now, and if it brings him to full health, it also removes all stun, bleeding, fatigue, blind, immobilized, stagger, and fresh injury. Probably. I mean, a ranged psychic heal is probably something we want, so I'm gonna grab Invigorate. As for talent, we can take Psi Rating 1. Haha! Even though I am not level 10. Why would you allow me to take this? Okay, I won't question it. It's your game, folks. But it is kind of surprising. Again, like, I didn't play Wrath of the Righteous when it first came out or anything like that, but it is surprising how many, like, little typos and little bugs we're seeing. I assume there'll be, like, a day 1 patch or something. So by the time this video is live, you know, a lot of this might have been fixed. I don't know. We'll see. For Warrior, we're going to go with Weapon Skill. Bump that up. And for Combat Talent, gain no melee superiority bonuses against this character. Now, what is a melee superiority bonus? Any target surrounded by more allies than enemies receives a +10 weapon skill bonus for each additional ally. target surrounded by more allies than enemies. Okay. So if basically, without this talent, if I am next to two guys, they'll each get plus 10 weapon skill. If I'm surrounded by three guys, they'll all get like, I don't know, 20, I guess. I don't know exactly how it's all calculated with distances and adjacency. Or we could take Chain Weapon Expert to get plus 4 max damage on chain weapons. Ooh, plus 2 movement could be nice, though. A Dueling Master would also be good. There's a lot of good choices here. But I think movement, if he can just cover more ground to get to more targets, I like that a lot. Let's take Swift Movements. That's it. Idira. Precise attack. For the next attack against a target affected by an exploit, that target's cover efficiency will be reduced. And this attack will have greater hit chance. Yeesh. Not great. She's kind of a weird... Yeah, I mean, she's an operative, but I don't know how, like, the lightning staff and stuff interacts with all of her operative shit. We could give her it's a word. Prescience? I don't know, maybe. So within a 10-cell radius gives them... So she actually has a psi rating of 1 due to being an unsanctioned psyker, which is pretty nice. So this gives plus 6 int, perception, fellowship, and willpower until end of combat. It's not really amazing, but it's 1 AP and lasts for the whole combat, and you can use it every round. And mostly it would just be like throwing a buff on Taco Bee at the start of combat and being done with it. It's not bad. Precognition. Once per round, Psyker's next turn is moved up by 2 turns in the round initiative sequence. This may allow them to have 2 turns during 1 round. It's also pretty good. Or we can get Dominate. Oh, okay. It's not that cool. All it does is just make them spend all their movement to go towards the Psyker. Sensory Deprivation. Ooh, hold on now. Willpower resistance test. If they succeed, they're blinded until the start of the Psyker's next turn. But if they fail, they become blinded and suffer an additional -5 to all characteristics reduced by blindness, and must make a willpower resistance test at the end of each turn. That sounds pretty nice. Let's go with sensory deprivation. Blind some people. You recommend tech use, but I don't know. Taco Bee has both of these covered. So maybe you just double down on awareness. Sure. And finally, Argenta. Let's grab Ballistic Skill. Make that a nice even 50. We could also grab Bolt Weapon Expert. Plus 10 armor penetration. For bolters. Again, I'm just not sure about grabbing, like, +5 to a characteristic or something as a talent. Maybe it's not the worst thing you could do, but... because it does affect so many things. Soldier's first grenade use in combat does not spend AP and does not count toward the attack limit that turn. Brutal Hunter, plus 15% crit chance against targets with bleeding or with less than half their health. That's not bad. Plus 10 crit chance for axes, hammers, and las weapons. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff affecting, like, combat with demons. Willpower, bonus % chance to ignore any enemy attack. So it's a 3% chance to ignore any attack in the game. That's not that amazing. And, yeah, more stuff against demons and psychers. I think if we're going to grab something here, I probably need to pick on whether I want to go with bolters or las weapons. And obviously, I'm going to go with bolters. Because, I mean, come on. For one, in her portrait, she's holding her bolter. And two, it's fucking bolters. So let's grab Bolt Weapon Expert, extra 10% armor penetration. Done. And let's give her back her bolter. Unfading Valor. Done. Alright.
Done.
Done. This is mine now. Long las. Ooh. That's pretty good too. There is a benefit to such a thing.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Noble Sook Glove, plus 5 bonus to persuasion. Ooh. Now, I'm pretty sure that's also Taco B's forte. These gloves give plus 3 to tech use, so just going by numbers, I guess we'll go by the plus 5. Okay. Something just happened. What is happening to me? That was weird.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Shall stand in my way.
Do you think I should just accuse this guy? No. Troll Rod is acquired. Yeah, I feel like we went over this.
Flame to the stars.
I think I missed something. Okay, I'll be back.
Unexpected result.
So I opened a door somewhere. I thought it was this big door, but it wasn't. Thought it was the big door, but it wasn't. I don't know. Are there other things I was supposed to do with that Agitator?
Weakness.
Shit. I'm not really sure. It sure seems like this door should be open. Holding down tab, I don't see anything pop up. Oh, all those things corresponded to a door. Did I just get the pick one? Okay. Well, that's good. All right, then we're good. And now this one open as well.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Warp Seer's Goggles. Gain plus bonus willpower lore warp. What a confusing way of labeling that. Yeah, so I assume it's your willpower bonus to your warp lore. Again, that seems like it would be Taco B, who, yeah. There you go. So that covers up the Shadow of Torment. Should I be aware of what the Shadow of Torment? Well, that was my downfall thing, wasn't it?
None shall stand in my way.
That information was not displayed when I picked that, I think.
This cannot be.
Black water. Lab. Somebody wanted to destroy it or find something. Psi crystal. Flesh sample. I mean, are we gonna do something with all these heretical experiments? Well, we're a rogue trader, so it's all in the name of rogue trading.
A new challenge for me.
Tissue flask. You got a mutated flesh sample, navigator flesh sample. I guess let's put in the navigator sample. Data crypt connector, H40KO, H41OK, KO4OH. 41 is a good solid number, maybe. Catalyst, an unidentified acid, biogel, or black water. OM42K003. Let's go with biogel. I feel like I should have information about what I'm doing, probably. The reagent flask, I have nothing for that. I strongly recommend finely grinding the reagent to catalyze the reaction. Do not use acid under any circumstances. We discovered the corrupted flesh of the mutated reacts most unusually to the crystals we purchased. Okay. H41. Okay, so I got that right. I think we want to put in the mutated flesh then, I suppose. And it just said not to use acid. Okay, we'll put in the mutated flesh.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Transducer. Adamantium or meteorite chunks, or the psi crystal.
What is that?
I don't know. Some not good stuff going on here, though, I can tell you that.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
There's no...
Over there.
Oh, ooh. Found something. Cargo. Okay. Money.
None
Money in the
shall
bank.
stand in my way.
Oh, this transduced it into adamantium dust. Okay, good, good, good. Strongly recommend finally grinding the reagent to catalyze reaction. Okay, I don't know. Ugh. Well, that didn't go as planned.
It's about time.
Okay, that was my one shot at whatever that was. Great! It's heretical anyways. It's fine.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Bella Corsellia looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there is some healthy color under the scales on his cheeks. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. The crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks, so poor and flimsy they fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Who is who? Who do you see behind the masks? My whisperers are giggling nastily. They will not speak, the naughty little things. They say that tearing off the masks is your concern. What paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Thank you, everything is clear now. I have many questions regarding what happened on the station. The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most corpses I discovered were either unarmed or feeble. The warp corrupts not only the soul, but just as much the body and the mind. The mad and the furious. A single servant wielded more strength than an entire squad of the mistress's personal guards. The bodyguards had their minds fogged as well, but their honed will let them hold out just long enough to destroy those who rushed in to assault them with bare hands. Destroying the shuttle, shutting off the power, disabling the security systems. Too many things required special access. Access available only to the keeper of the station. As I'm sure you are aware, there were two keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theobald Orselio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that have befallen Urac 5 and our noble line. I saw the security captain's report. Only the keepers have access to the station's systems, but Theobald stayed at his side the entire time and could not have initiated the self-destruct protocol. Which means he did it before the report was filed, or maybe after, or... You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who was going out of his way to preserve what little there is still left? By the god, Emperor, you will keep these slanderous accusations to yourself. The madmen I fought were convinced that we were the traitors. I would not trust you as far as I could throw you. It really is time to end this. I was hoping to find an ally in you, but now you're merely delaying the sorrowful end of your story. Prepare to die!
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
Urge them!
Alright, certainly a disadvantageous position for us. We're pretty much surrounded on all sides, so there's not a whole lot we can do. I want Abelyard to be right there. Cocked lock, ready to rock Bellic or Celio. And then Taco Bee just does not have any good position. Like it's just bad. It's just bad. We gotta pick a side here and just use it. So we'll do that. Okay. Let's just delete one of these guys, I guess. I'm gonna analyze Bellic. I'm gonna expose Felix. And then I'm going to Shriek. Try this dude.
Of course.
Oh, what a low roll. That sucks. 19 damage. You love to see it.
A tactically sound approach.
Dead. That was the end of that.
Indeed. It will be done.
Melee, man, it's really good. Ooh. Dodge out of the way, out of cover. Yeah, that's not great. It's not great. That's great. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, Tacitus Beaticus! We want to let somebody take an action. Probably Argenta is usually the correct option.
All too easy.
Yeah. Point blank shotgun.
As the Emperor commands,
Boom! Okay.
Stand a chance.
Excellent. Gotta love it.
guided by faith.
Guided by faith, bitch. With my shotgun. It's glorious. Best paladin ever.
I'll do it.
Alright, let's run and gun. Whip out the bolter. Best paladin ever!
Was it you?
Pretty simple. And let's blind this dude just for fun. Yeah, he's fully blind. He tries to run in panic. He gets immediately cut down. You love to see it.
Follow my lead. Victory is imminent. It will be done. I took care of this one. No matter the cost. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. I will do my
Dude, he's a fucking beast. He's a beast.
I won't tolerate
Easy combat. Keeper's Control Rod. Staff of House Orselio. Castigating 5. Enemies targeted by the Navigator powers gain a -5 penalty to all their characteristics until the end of the Navigator's next turn. Stacks renewed every time same enemy becomes targeted of the Navigator's powers. Also provides +5 willpower, +5 perception. I see, but I am not a Navigator, so you can imagine we're gonna get one. Alright, take it all. The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs stands with her arms raised, her hands deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continually streams from her scarlet misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously at your approach. Only now do you notice the third eye on the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament, and when your eyes meet, you sense overwhelming, soul-smothering power. You are enveloped in despairing grief, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limbs seem to fill with lead, your heart hammers in your chest, and the desire to turn and flee from this room, from this station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you master your emotions, and your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing it to retreat. Ow, ow, ow! As if my own little pals weren't bad enough, now this one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her! Heresy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Lady Cassie, I'm here to help you. Please calm yourself. What is happening? Was someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? Tacitus Beaticus von Valancius. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pardon my manners, Tacitus Beaticus. I did not expect to make such a gracious acquaintance in such a time of great sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man who has been kneeling nearby erupts into low sobs. His eyes, swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room, as though the veil of ignorance has just been ripped away from them. The child. Lady Cassia, where are you? Sacred child. Throne preserve. Despite his venerable age, the navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You! The old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with jet-black veins, and his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly sweet scent assaults your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decaying husk. My eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I'm warning you, one wrong move will bring the wrath of House Orselio down upon your head. Watch out, Lord Captain. This one's so deranged it's making the whispers shriek like all the hells. He might just open that eye of his. Threatening the head of the dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever you are. At present, I am trying to determine what is happening on Urac 5. I'll grant that you do not look like pirates who have come coveting the riches of a wrecked station, or like scoundrels in Felic's service. So who are you? Tacitus Beaticus von Valancius, rogue trader. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy. How interesting. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal that benefits one side alone. Given that you have not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful, and so House Orselio now asks a service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of our house today. You decide. What is the curse that has taken hold of everyone in this room? Curse. You do not understand the sacred gift given to our child. When the child is sad, we all weep. When the child smiles, we all laugh giddily. And if the child wants blood, the world turns crimson. The child's will is the will of the great Tisiphone, for she is the heir of House Orselio. And they call me dangerous with my witchcraft. I want to know what happened between you and Felek. Felek is my wayward student. He came to Urak 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and entrusted him with the care of the child. He was like a son to me, but he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of our house, our sacred child, to revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss, to pervert the centuries-long traditions of our family. You can see the fruits of his villainy for yourself. He decided he was not bound by his duties to the legacy of the greatest of our novitors, Tisiphone Orselio, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Foolish boy. The renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the sacred child had come of age and taken up the Novator's throne. What service do you ask of me? Save the sacred child. Take her away from this station. I fear I do not have long left. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Aranto, acting head of House Orselio in the Coronis Expanse. Rest assured that the reward will be worth your effort. I know we came here for a navigator, but after everything we've seen, I've got some reservations about this girl. Such a fragile thing with such a heavy burden upon her shoulders. You're talking as though you expect to die here. My service to the house is coming to an end. The wounds Felek inflicted on my flesh will never heal. I am dying. Praise the throne, slowly enough to see that the child is taken care of. There's a Medicaid deck on my ship. No, I am the keeper of Urak 5, and I will perish along with my station. On that note, I have other matters to attend to. Okay. Cassia shall come with me. Good, that is good. But do allow us to say our proper farewells. Theobald coughs up more bluish blood. Wake up, my mistress. Oh, okay, alright.
My sacred child. It is all over now. It is over.
What happened? You. I remember you. Have you come to save us?
Child, please, listen to me very carefully. One last time. You will now embark on a voyage with this lady to rejoin the house and its regent in the Coronis Expanse. I will not be able to accompany you on this journey.
No! Not you too! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! You're coming with me! Your mistress is giving you an order. Do you hear me?
Mistress, I fear this will be your only order that I dare to disobey. I am the keeper of Urak 5, and alas, I have less than a day in me. Allow me to serve you one last time and honor my final duty to House Orselio. I will remain on the station and destroy the secrets it holds.
Oh, Theobald. What are you going to do to me?
Lady Cassia, I, Tacitus Beaticus von Valancius, rogue trader of the Imperium of Man, offer you my protection and grant you shelter aboard my vessel. Do not fear what is to come, child. You are ready to guide any vessel. I know this because I taught you myself. and it is difficult to imagine more worthy company than a rogue trader. But remember, your safety is of paramount importance. Get to the Great Regent and fulfill your destiny.
As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously, I knew that we were going to recruit Cassia. One, you know, she was in, like, the beta as one of your characters. And two, you know, they showed off, like, the collector's edition for this game. And one of the things it comes with is a big-ass statue of Cassia. So, yeah, pretty clear. But alright, so she is, she is a something. She's a navigator. She's got lidless stare. Look at that big old cone. Unlimited range. Just massive cone. 9 to 12 damage. Pass a willpower resistance test or becomes stunned for 1 turn. Okay. Unlikely to become stunned, it seems, but there you go. And she's also another officer, so she's similar to Taco B for that stuff. Okay. And that's it. I mean, obviously she's going to gain access to more navigator stuff, but that's kind of how it goes. Can she get any more navigator stuff right now? Okay. Enemies damaged by navigator suffer plus 2 times navigator's perception bonus, so 8% additional damage from warp damage, and it stacks for each hit. Not bad. It's not bad. Every even turn, the navigator gains an additional action point. Every odd turn, the navigator gains plus 20 perception. Every enemy navigator has in their line of sight has its dodge and hit chance reduced by -8. Not 8. Yeah, right now it's 8. Dodge and hit chance reduced by 8. So that's not percent. And it's just 8. But it is sort of a percent. Your chance to hit, yeah. I mean, it's a very passive thing that we never really have to think about, and it just helps us. That's not bad. Navigator path powers deal +1 additional damage for every 5 bonus characteristics, and the navigator's currently equipped staff. Alright, so if we give her that staff, she'd get, what, +2 damage? To all her path powers. Whenever a creature in combat gains an extra turn, the navigator gains a stacking +5 bonus to willpower until the end of combat. That could be pretty... We got 2 officers. That's not bad. Okay. Okay. Well, there's not a lot of navigator talents, that's for sure. When an enemy fails a resistance test against a navigator's power, attacks against them gain +20, +2 times, so +28% crit chance. Armor reduction. Man, there's a look at all these. So many. Navigator starts all turns, including extra turns, with +3 additional movement points. And the first ally targeted each turn by the Navigator gains the same amount of additional movement points. Damn. So if I give the extra turn, or like extra 2 action points to somebody, they'd also get 3 movement? Jeez. Let's go with Eye of Oblivion right now. I don't have to think about too much. God, it's just a lot, man. Okay, what about talents here? Okay, that's all the same stuff. Go with tonicity. Oh, right, it's just different level up. Let's go with now perception isn't recommended, even though it seemed like I had a bunch of stuff, yeah, related to perception. So I'm gonna go with that. Then we get a new ability. Target gains +16 willpower and toughness until end of combat. All allies within a 12-cell rate. Are you serious? Doesn't that seem really good? +16 willpower and toughness till the end of combat for 1 AP. And it's all allies. Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot. Held in my gaze, 1 creature, single target, deals 1 + 2 times, okay. Willpower, so it'd be 9 to 22 damage. They have to pass willpower resistance test to become immobilized. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So, just a really solid single target that also immobilizes them. I'm inclined to pick that just for a nice single target ability. Yeah, let's go with that. And then for a common talent... God. Sure. Boy, that was a lot of stuff. The CRPG bro is gonna have a field day. I know he's cooking. I know he's made, because he was in the press Discord and the press calls with me. So I know he's working on stuff. Very excited. Okay, and then we can leave, I guess. What more do we need to say here? Eventually we get to sell all our cargo. And that's probably going to be next time as we head to the main station. The time will finally come. And we'll have like little side quests and stuff. It'll be great. But I'm actually really excited to get beyond the station and go out into like the fringes and fight demons and shit. It's gonna be awesome. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first... Your heart starts beating furiously, your breaths come short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Vigdis is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, searching for the source of this sudden wave of unease. First, I wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you are ready for the ritual, please let me know. What did you wish to speak about? Before I begin the ritual, I wish to look once again into the eyes of the woman whose fame is so great it managed to penetrate the impregnable walls of Urac 5 long before we ever met. It truly is you, Tacitus Beaticus, the person the whole Expanse and Calixis sector are talking about, and now a rogue traitor as well. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with so much mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that I am immeasurably grateful. But now, I am ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. Tell me more about what the ritual entails. I doubt the uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation, but I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship so that I become one with the vessel. After that, I use the House Orcelio ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts. And then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light, the guiding thread, so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. But you have nothing to worry about. The navigators of House Orcelio never lose their course. Why do you refuse red paint? It is my habit to use the blood of my attendants so as to preserve my own. However, given the current circumstances, my own will serve even better. The blood of the Navis Nobilite is sacred, and so is more suitable for the communion ritual. I shall ensure that all the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is open. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge, and may the Emperor's light help us all. The Voxcaster in the Sanctum Navis picks up this susurration of clothes, pious chanting, and the metallic clicking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence. Initiating communion ritual. You hear the exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard. Then the stifled gasp of the Lady Navigator, the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas, and the faint whisper of a brush. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails, and umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance. A storm rising above foaming waters. Armadas drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit. Of her? No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitator levers. The panel beneath her fingers emits sparks, and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I have never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. Leave the Lady Navigator undisturbed. Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. The servants in the Sanctum Navis are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain, their throats raw from the strain. And then, sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaims their fate. It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's right, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Navis after the ritual. Or what is left of them. Yeah, it's funny, like, you know, most games you'd think, like, a character that looks like that, you know, spouting off in some, you know, obscene ritual and then killing a bunch of innocent people as part of it. They're the bad guys. And here it's just like, yeah, you know, that's what has to be done for the ship so we can go through space. And, you know, it's just what it is. Yeah, that's 40k. Rogue Trader, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual is successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely, even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Spare me a few moments of your time, please. There are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I want to report on the condition of the station, Urac 5. Regrettably, we arrived too late to evacuate the residents of the station. The warp disruptions affecting Urac 5 twisted the bodies and minds of its attendants. The corruption failed to affect Lady Cassia, thank the Emperor. The navigators are trained to resist the Immaterium's pull. With your permission, I would also like to remind you that we are still looking for an Engine Seer Prime. Both the vessel and its machine spirits are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We're also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not yet located Heinrichs van Kalax, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now, we know for sure he was not at Urac 5, so keep this in mind when making any future plans. Thank you, Vigdis. This will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Okay. A lot of talking. A lot of me reading dialogue for 2 hours. But there you have it. We have our navigator, who's also a member of the party, I guess. And onward to the station next time. Should be alright. My name is Mangg. Game of watching has been Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We'll see you fine folks in the next part.